Deliberate deoptimization. How much should you try to optimize your life was a question that I asked myself. Sort of, how much should you be thinking about ways to improve? How much should you care about things? And for many people, perhaps even most people, the answer to all of those questions is more. The world largely belongs to the intense optimizers and not the laissez-faire guy chilling in a hammock who's hit snooze 3 times this morning. So telling people to optimize harder is a reliable way to improve the lives of most people, because most people need to be tightened up rather than loosened off. And being more obsessive will tend to deliver better results in worldly success. Most advice is charitably given to people who need to think more carefully, be more deliberate, and work harder. The problem is when this message lands with the wrong audience, the perennial perma-optimizers. Then it creates a world where overthinkers are convinced to think even more. And these people need loosening off, not tightening up. And given the fact that you listen to this podcast or read my newsletter, I'm going to guess that you fall into this category. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be obsessive and pay attention to detail. The problem arises when you can no longer delineate between the very small number of things that matter enough to obsess over and everything else. Assume that you have a small bucket of pursuits which are important. You've probably learned that a very deliberate, effortful, optimized approach is a successful strategy. This obsession and addiction begins to bleed into all other areas of your life. And turning off the tap of optimization is hard. Soon enough, the entire map is flooded with the same desire to always push for perfect. Your brain tells you, look at how effective your perfectionism has been in your professional life. Why don't we try and apply that to your sleep routine and your training plan and your love life and the house cleanliness and your toenails? And it doesn't go well. One solution I learned about, actually from the CTO of RP Strength, a guy called Andrew Zay, who works with Mike Israetel, is deliberate deoptimization. So you purposefully let areas which could be dialed in further fall by the wayside in order to give your brain capacity to focus on the ones that really matter, focusing on your pounds and not everyone else's pennies. Sure, you could have 5 credit cards with special cashback bonuses and capture all of the points for your air miles. But given that you're already close to capacity on the things to give a shit about list, is it wise to add yet another thing onto that? Sure, your intra-workout nutrition could probably be dialed in more with pre-digested grass-fed whey and dextrose. But what if this takes your energy away from the key area of just hitting the gym 5 times a week? In the same way, you could spend all day watching the stock market instead of just investing in an index fund. But how much damage will this new candle graph addiction do to your relationship? Oliver Burkeman inspired me with this thought recently, which is, how much should you care about things? Question, how much should you care about things? Answer, I'm unsure exactly, but I know that it's not the absolute maximum amount all the time for everything. Basically, not everything is a life or death situation. And even if you know this cognitively, you still behave implicitly like it is. So, deliberately letting go of certain areas is a good way to give overthinkers like you and me more space to regain a little bit of sanity. Basically, the stress of trying to be perfect will kill you more quickly than your imperfections. And choosing the very small bucket of things that are unbelievably important to you and that you want to have your obsession focus on. And when that habit, that thought pattern, that framing starts to appear in other areas of your life, you just sort of notice it. You go, oh yeah, that's that thing that I really love at work and really don't want in my relationship or in my sleep routine or in the way that I keep my house or whatever. So I'm just going to thank you for that. And I appreciate you. I see you there, but I don't really need to worry so much. And it's difficult because you're going to be hypertrophying this muscle in one very particular domain or a few particular domains, and you're going to be trying atrophy the same muscle in other domains. And it's really, really tough. This is a problem to be managed, not a paradox to be solved, perhaps, that there is no point at which this is going to be stopped. And just learning, like being on one of those balance board things where there's a sphere in the middle of it, at no point are you actually at stasis. You're always just making little adjustments. And I think maybe it's kind of like that. Before we continue, if your workouts feel flat, your recovery slow, or you've just been feeling off, it might not be your training plan or your diet. It might be something a bit more boring, like zinc. And while most supplements like Tonkat Ali can help, zinc quietly plays a huge role in testosterone production, strength, recovery, and energy. And most people are chronically low in it, which is why I'm such a huge fan of Momentous' zinc, because it supports testosterone, boosts vitality, and it helps keep everything running like it should. Plus, it is NSF certified for sport, which means it's been independently tested and approved for purity, safety, and zero shady ingredients. Just clean, effective, science-backed goodness. And if you're still unsure, Momentous offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it for 29 days. And if you don't like it, they'll give you your money back. Plus, they ship internationally. Right now, you can get 35% off your first subscription and that 30-day money-back guarantee by going to the link in the description below or heading to livemomentous.com/modernwisdom using the code modernwisdom at checkout. That's livemomentous.com/modernwisdom and modernwisdom at checkout. Would you look at that? Clip is already over, but if you want more, don't be sad. The full episode is available right here. Go on.